as you know, content makes the world go round. Really, it really does. And that means as a business owner, you have to master the ability of posting content that gets people's attention. And so in this video, we're going to talk about 4 of the biggest mistakes coaches make when planning their content. So like I said, content planning is going to be one of the things that you really want to spend a lot of time on. Why? Because content is how you are found. Like I said, content makes the world go round. When you have an issue, the first thing you do is you go to Google and you start to search and your answers pop up. Guess what? If people weren't posting that content, then you will not be getting the answers that you're looking for. And so it's the same thing with you. When your clients are out there searching for solutions to the problems they have, you want to be able to come up, and that won't happen if you're not creating content. But here is the caveat to that, okay? There's a lot of people who will tell you, well, creating content means that you want to just go to sites like Answer the Public, which is a great site, or Quora. You want to see what people are asking and you want to post that content. And while that works, I have a different approach. Being that I work with coaches and service professionals who are usually selling premium and high price services, I know that you want to be able to create content that creates clarity. And that just means that people don't buy if they don't understand what they're buying. And so your content is supposed to create clarity for your ideal clients. You're supposed to answer the questions that they have that leads them to your offer, not just any old question. Does that make sense? Okay. So first of all, before we jump into these biggest mistakes, tell me, how do you like this video? Okay, I am trying a new type of video on my YouTube channel. As you know, I started working this channel in June. And so I am testing all of my videos to see what works for my people. So tell me, do you like this style of video? So let's jump in. First mistake is planning and producing all in one day. I cannot tell you how many times I hear people complain and tell me that, listen, it took me hours just to create one post. And whenever they say that to me, I know it's because they are planning, producing, writing, doing all the things in one shot. And that creates confusion. It just doesn't work. You know, when you're planning, there are 3 phases that you want to go through. So phase 1 is the research and planning. So this is when we will map everything out. This is when we know our pillars, our strategies, our topics, you know, all of that. So that's the planning part. The second part, that's going to be the prep. So that's where you start to source and script, right? And so for me, that's scripting captions, scripting video, sourcing if I need any research, or, you know, if I'm going to be quoting people, or if I need any type of pictures or props to be in this content, I'm going to go and prep and get all of that stuff together. And then the last step is produce. So that's the production day. That's the day you get to knock out all the content. So you're no longer spending hours to create one post. You're actually creating sometimes a quarter, worth of content. That's 3 months worth of content in one day because you went through the phases, okay? The second mistake that a lot of coaches make is not having a content and marketing strategy. And yes, there is a difference, okay? So you need to have a marketing plan and you also have to have a content plan, but you also need to have a strategy. I think that the strategy is what people miss. Posting on social media is not a strategy, okay? Having content pillars is not a strategy, okay? A strategy is a content plan that is mapped out strategically and delivers the right content in front of the right people at the right time. And this content widens the gap and leads your ideal clients into your client's journey. Okay, that is what a content strategy does. So it's not as simple as just posting on social media or coming up with some content pillars and saying this, you know, while this stuff works. I definitely don't like to throw salt on what you hear out there, because I believe all of it works. It's just that you never really get the full picture. Well, hello, this is the full picture. You gotta have a strategy, okay? Number 3, the third mistake that coaches are making, and that is creating superficial and and fluffy content. This happens a lot of times because you don't have a strategy, going back to number 2. So you get caught up in creating as much content as you want. That's the content rat race. You understand? So it's like, let me just create. And the more I create and put out there, is the more people are going to see me. And yes, people do see you now because the content is good, but they're not buying. And so we have to take a moment and say, okay, wait a minute. Do I want to be on the content rat race? Or do I want to make sure that I map out a strategy that's going to give quality content that's going to actually convert? Okay. Now, the 4th mistake that coaches are making is not deploying automation. And, content doesn't have to happen in real time. And this one is big because a lot of the people who follow me and the people who I work with, and if this is you, you can let me know in the comments. A lot of the people who I work with say, I don't have time to be on social media all day, and the reason why they say that is because, hear me out. You see people like me telling you have to be consistent every day. You see people like me who you learn from, who you watch, right? And you see that they're everywhere and they're busting out content day and day after day. And so you have in your head that, listen, I'm not going to get the visibility and I'm not going to get in front of people if I'm not doing the same thing. I'm going to have to be busting out content every day, just like these leaders are doing, and I just don't have the time. Now, if that is something that you feel, let's bust that right through the middle, okay? I have a client, her name is Cheryl. She's a baby boomer. Why do I say that? Because a lot of the clients that I work with, they come to me, a lot of them, they're not techie. They really didn't come up in the social media age. They don't like the idea of social media. They know that they need it, but they rather not spend all day. Another group of people that I work with are usually people who are 9-to-5 bosspreneurs. That's what I call them. So that means that they're working a job and they're also growing their business and they don't have time, all right? So sometimes they don't have the desire, but then others is you don't have the time to be on social media every day. And that's what was Cheryl. That was Cheryl. Cheryl was like, listen, this is not what I want to do. But she's an engineer and she also is a health coach, and she wanted to be able to get her message out there and start helping moms over 50 years old with their health journey. Okay, that's pretty much what she wanted to do. So we deployed the evergreen content machine that I talk about all the time. Okay, and I'll leave some information about that in the description. So we deployed that into her business, and now she is able to be everywhere online, but only showing up 30 minutes a week. Oh my goodness, are you listening? 30 minutes a week, okay? So every week for 30 minutes, she shows up. Her medium is doing live. All businesses are different. Yours may be something different, but she does a live video for 30 minutes every week. And then she sends that video off, and that video goes through the content machine. It gets duplicated and all the things that happens with it. So she's able to put out all her content everywhere without having to actually be around all the time. And see, that is what is important. So do you see what I mean there? So you might be somebody who's like, wait a minute, I'm listening to Nyala and I want to create this content, but I don't have the time. Well, you can create a lot of content without it having to take up a lot of your time. And so if that is something that you want to do, I have a free training that's coming up where I'm going to be mapping out the entire plan to be able to do so and put it on automation. So that way you can be omnipresent without always having to be present. If that is something that you want to do, check out the description so you can come to that training. Okay. All right. Let me know if this was useful, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification so that way you're notified the next time a video goes live. Here on this channel, we teach all things messaging and marketing so that way you can make more money. I'll see you in the next one.